The first thing you smell is your own rot. You are born into a room that has never seen the sun. It is a cellar in Southwark, damp with the rising tide of the Thames. The walls weep a black slime that smells of salt and ancient waste. Your mother's breath is shallow, smelling of sour ale and exhaustion. She does not smile when she sees you. She prays you are strong enough to carry a bucket, or quiet enough to die quickly. The midwife wipes the gray film from your eyes with a rag that has cleaned 100 wounds. You are alive. That is your first mistake. Childhood is a race against the cold. You learn early that hunger is not a feeling, it is a constant companion. It sits in your belly like a dull knife, twisting every time you smell the roasting meat from a merchant's kitchen 3 streets away. Your toys are the bleached knuckle bones of cattle found in the gutter. Your friends are the rats, sleek and bold, who watch you from the shadows of the rafters with eyes like polished beads. Do not touch them. To touch the vermin is to invite the swellings. By 5, you are working. You crawl through the mud of Cheapside, scavenging for dropped nails or scraps of leather. The mud is not soil. It is a thick black soup of horse dung, human waste, and the offal from the butcher's stalls. It seeps into the cracks of your feet and stays there. It becomes your skin. The city is a cage of timber and thatch. The houses lean over the narrow streets like starving giants, blocking out the sky. You live in a permanent twilight where the only light is the gray haze that filters through the smoke of 10,000 coal fires. The bells are the heartbeat of your terror. The great bell of St. Paul's tolls for the dead, and it never seems to stop. Every chime is a reminder that the window of your life is closing. You see a cart pass by, piled high with bodies wrapped in gray linen. No one weeps. There is no time for tears when you must find bread. One of the bodies has a hand hanging out, fingers stiff and yellow like old wax. You look away, not out of pity, but because you don't want to see your own future. You watch a nobleman ride past on a white palfrey. His cloak is dyed a blue so deep it looks like the heavens. You press your back against a damp stone wall to avoid his golden spurs. If his horse treads on your foot, it is your fault for existing in his path. He smells of rosewater and cloves. You smell of wood smoke and old sweat. He is a different species. You are the dirt beneath his hooves, and he does not even see the dirt. The sun sets, and London transforms into a tomb. The gates of the city wall groan shut, locking the living in with the dying. There are no lights here, save for the flickering tallow candles of the wealthy. The darkness is absolute. It is thick, heavy, and smells of wet wool and fear. You hear the heavy boots of the night watch clattering on the cobbles. If they find you without a lantern, you are a thief. If they find you with one, you are a target for the shadows that move in the alleys. The river is a black throat. It swallows the secrets of the night, the unwanted, the murdered, the desperate. You hear a splash near London Bridge. You do not look. You do not ask. Curiosity is a luxury for those who plan to see tomorrow. In the dark, even your own breath sounds too loud. Work is the slow grinding of your bones into dust. You are an apprentice now, a porter of the wharves. You carry sacks of grain until your spine curves like a bow and stays that way. Your hands are a map of scars, burns, and calluses that never heal. There is no medicine for the ache in your joints, only the burning sting of cheap pottage and the hope that the winter will be mild enough to let you keep your toes. Fire is your constant nightmare. The city is a tinderbox of dry oak and straw. You sleep with one ear open, listening for the crackle of flame. If one house goes, they all go. You will be burned in your sleep, or crushed in the screaming panic of the narrow alleys where the doors open inward and the streets lead nowhere. The air is always thick with a yellow fog. It coats your lungs in soot. Every cough brings up a gray phlegm that tastes of metal. You are breathing the city, and the city is eating you from the inside out. Sunday is for the church, and the church is for fear. The stone walls of the cathedral are cold, even in the height of July. You kneel on the hard, uneven floor until your knees bleed and your legs go numb. The priest speaks in a tongue you do not know, a rolling Latin that sounds like a judgment. but his eyes tell you everything you need to know. You are a sinner because you were born. Your poverty is not a tragedy, it is your penance. You stare at the wall paintings of demons tearing the flesh from the damned with iron hooks. They look like the men you saw hanging from the gallows at Tyburn this morning. The crows were picking at their eyes while the crowd cheered. You wonder if the demons have sharper beaks, or if the agony ever truly ends. You pray not for heaven, but for a sleep that has no dreams. The fever comes in the dead of a Tuesday night. It starts as a shiver that no amount of straw can warm. Then, the heat. Your skin feels like it is peeling away from your muscles. You lie on your pallet, listening to the person next to you moan in their sleep, a wet rattling sound that tells you their lungs are filling with fluid. You reach down. You feel the groin, the neck, the armpits. You are searching for the lump, the hard, painful egg of the plague that means the end of your story. Your heart hammers against your ribs like a trapped bird. You find nothing but sweat. This time, it is only the flux. This time, you might wake up. Half of your siblings are already under the sod of the churchyard, buried in a pit with 50 others. Their names are already forgotten by the world. You are the only one left to remember the sound of their laughter, and even that is fading like smoke. Age is not measured in years, but in what has been taken from you. You have lost your teeth to the hard crust of rye bread and grit. You have lost your brothers to the sea and the king's wars. You have lost your strength to the endless weight of the crates on the docks. You are 30 years old. In the eyes of the world, you are a ghost waiting for a grave. You walk to the middle of London Bridge, where the houses hang precariously over the water. The bridge hums with the sound of 1,000 lives, crying infants, shouting merchants, the clink of coin. Below, the Thames roars through the narrow arches like a trapped beast. It is a violent churning gray filled with the debris of 1,000,000 souls. You look at your hands. They are stained with the ink of a life lived in the dirt, the lines filled with the soot of the London air. You have never traveled more than 5 miles from the cellar where you were born. The world is a vast, terrifying mystery, and you are just a spark in a cold wind. The end is not a roar. It is a quiet folding of the hands. The winter is harsher this year. The Thames has frozen over into a jagged waste of white ice and gray slush. You sit in the corner of your room, wrapped in a threadbare cloak that smells of damp and old age. There is no wood for the fire. The chill moves from the floor, through your rags, and into your marrow. Your breath comes in small white puffs. They grow smaller, fainter. Each one is a little victory, until the victories stop. You feel a strange, heavy peace. The hunger has finally stopped clawing at your stomach. The noise of the street, the shouting vendors, the clatter of iron wheels, the relentless ringing of the death bells, fades into a soft, distant hum. You have survived the plague. You have survived the famine. You have survived the cruelty of the lords and the silence of the heavens. You have lived while thousands fell beside you. Close your eyes. The city will be here when the sun rises. But you are finally going somewhere the city cannot follow.